I'll take Fred's place and try to fill his large shoes, but welcome everyone to the quarterly meeting. Happy to have you out. Hope you all had a wonderful Memorial Day weekend and having a great week. So we'll start off with the usual code of conduct. As we all know, we are here as ESC members and not representatives primarily of our own individual companies and company interests. And so we always reiterate that code of conduct as we are here working for the common good. And so appreciate everyone. I have seen everyone doing such a great job on this, and we appreciate that. So any comments or questions about that code of conduct? Okay, well, let's move to number 2, year-to-date financial reports by our very own Mr. Daniels. Larry, you want to take over?
Yeah, I mean, the financial report, because we reported this a couple of weeks ago, it's still at what I got is $13,326.77, and we showed our membership is at 53.
Okay. Have our investments, how's our ROI going?
I guess it's we haven't spent anything.
There's a cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Glad to see those are paying off. GameStop, I'll just give you a tip, GameStop. Okay, thank you for that. Okay. Updates from the co-chairs. I don't have any from the private sector side, so we'll when Fred gets on, we'll let him loop back around on that point if he would like. The next item of business then is to, I think number 4 there, we do not need to discuss if I'm not mistaken, because that happened already. Yeah. So let's move to Matt and Calley. I don't think I saw Calley, although she may have jumped on. Matt, would you like to take item 5 and talk about the conference upcoming in September?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Zach. Yeah, so yeah, Matt Lombardo here, the outreach chair for the Texas chapter, and I've been working with Calley. She's been a help in a committee where we're running a side committee focused on helping with the national conference for the Energy Services Coalition. And this is a conference that happens annually, bringing in not only members from the Energy Services Coalition, but also public people and entities within our, and particularly within Texas, because it's actually gonna be hosted in Texas this year, hosted in Colorado last year or 2 years ago. But we'll be bringing also public entities to learn more about energy savings or guaranteed energy savings performance contracting, and then topics around our, what we're looking to promote. It's at the Driskill. It's on September 20th through the 22nd. The Driskill is a hotel in Austin, a nice hotel that the national organization has reserved for us. As you can see, there's a link. If you go to the invite that you got for this meeting and click on that link, or open the agenda and click on that link, that will take you to the actual conference website. You can also just go to the National Energy Services Coalition website and find a link pretty easily there. Go ahead and look into it. I can show it, I guess, if that, would that be helpful, you think, Zach, to show the website?
Yeah, why not?
All right, let me see. Actually, I could just do what I just told you guys to do and click the link. That'd be smart.
Hey, Matt, have we gotten any more directions from corporate or the hotel about the number of attendees?
We do. You're spoiling my surprise.
I'm sorry. Well, you can tell me. Go ahead.
I was drum rolling it up and really gonna get it going. No.
You want me to stop sharing, Matt?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Okay. All right.
Let me see. Share screen. Host disabled and participant screen sharing. Do you mind enabling Roderick?
Let me do that. There you go.
Thanks, sir. I'll go ahead and pop in screen 2. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. All right, so here is actually, well, it's funny enough, I just clicked on the link and rightfully so, it brought me right to the conference website. You can register now, and we do encourage you guys as members, if you'd like to be at this event. It's an in-person conference, again, September 20th, 22nd through the 22nd. Go ahead and register. There is a cost to registering as a private entity. There's a cost to registering as a public entity or a public representative as well. If you'd like to sponsor, that's an option. I think right now there's 6 sponsorship slots open. So go ahead and register, or go ahead and sponsor if you'd like. And then there's more information, obviously, on everything about the hotel, about the agenda, about contacting them. Now, this is not being run by us, just to make sure there's no confusion there. We're just supporting it as the local chapter, host chapter, if you will. This is being run by the National Energy Services Coalition. And if you click on the agenda, you can kind of see some of the things that we're going to be talking about over those days. It's actually a really fun setup conference, in my opinion. It starts with really getting a taste of Austin on Monday, and then getting everybody in to the conference. Some really good keynote opportunities, speaking opportunities, some of them which our chapter will be responsible for. If you can see my screen, this 10:45 one will be our responsibility to fill that session. Also, this 1:45, our responsibility to fill this session as well. And there's a keynote speaker that we have to fill in for 30 minutes on the Wednesday morning. There's also a few tours associated with this conference. Both tours are actually our responsibility as a chapter to help make happen. And by the great efforts of Calley and the team, the committee that's kind of working on this locally, we've come up with some ideas for some Austin city tours on Monday. And Calley's kind of vetting out those for us a little bit, and hopefully we'll come back with some ideas that you guys can all chime in on. And then this is a tour that came up by Fred with the Texas Facilities Commission. It's basically a tour of the construction project that's going on at the Texas State Capitol. You guys may or may not be aware, there's a really large construction project going on at the Texas State Capitol. They're basically redoing the mall area, if you will. And then it's going to be really cool, really nice. Fred has footage of this actual project that we can show at the conference. And then he's also going to get Farshad or some of those other people who work at TFC. I think John, I can't remember his last name, John. There's a guy named John that works for TFC who's going to help us walk the guests and tour some of the construction, seeing some of the cool project that's going on down there. Those are ideas we brought to the table as a chapter, and we're going to help execute those and work through that. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we also have to come up with discussion topics and actually present during this conference. And that's one thing I did want to present to you all is understanding some topics that we would think about for presenting at the conference. Actually, before we go there, though, before we talk about topics, which I will take notes on that, to Larry's point, we did at one point have a restriction on the amount of people who could attend this conference. There was the Driskill Hotel had COVID policy that was limited to like 66 at one point. But we just received word today that's no longer 66, which was really limiting. It's going to be, I think, 156 attendees can attend this conference, which definitely opens up things quite a bit. A lot of spots should be open now for our members, the ESC members to attend, as well as, you know, the public entities and the people we want to sponsor going there can attend as well. Speaking of sponsoring, we're as a chapter, we've discussed offering scholarships to people in the public sector who want to attend this conference, right? Just as an incentive to get more of the clientele in our industry, an opportunity to learn more about energy savings performance contracting. And we're looking at sponsoring SECO will at the moment, and I think we're going to change this now that the attendee number has changed. But at the moment, SECO was looking at sponsoring 5 scholarships, and they were going to market those scholarships to the public entities. And then we would sponsor 5 scholarships through the same program. So 10 scholarships around $300 a piece, or maybe a little bit more. We haven't really narrowed that down exactly yet. But we were going to sponsor scholarships to bring more people to the conference. So I want to pause for a second because that was a lot of information before I go into any more and see if anybody has any questions, comments.
Hey Matt, quick question. With the cap being raised on attendees, did they say anything about kind of the cross section of that, the third that they were contemplating before? Is that been addressed?
Yeah, no, we haven't gotten the granularity yet on, to your point, of the like who can be local, who's national. And then you're exactly right. They're always focused on making it a third public companies, a third private, and maybe a third sponsors or something like that. But or what they call other, which would be I'm sorry, when I say private, I mean like ESCOs, and then the other third would be like others, like vendors for ESCOs, or financial industry people who attend our meetings all the time, stuff like that. So that breakout is probably still there, but what that actually looks like, Zach, I'm not sure yet. They haven't given us clarity on that.
Okay, thanks.
No problem. Any other questions on the conference so far before we go into more details? Okay. So as a committee, we're looking at helping out with the tours, which I mentioned, and we'll figure some things out. And if anybody in the membership on our group, our chapter, has any input, thoughts that they want to consider on the tour side, let us know. We're just trying to be pointed at planning it, just because we have limited time to plan. So we're trying to be focused and just lead the effort and then report to you guys. But if there's anything you're like, whoa, hold up, what are you guys doing here? Why are we doing this? Please let us know. For the sessions, it may say here chapter panel, and it may say innovative ESBC project, but we can we have an opportunity to really decide what topics we want to talk about. And we've gotten some ideas already. I've been taking notes. I've been in officer meetings, in committee meetings. I've been taking notes of what topics may be relevant in our industry for us to present on. We got to think about, these are topics we would want both the people in our industry and those who would be potentially customers to hear, or clients to hear. So if there's any topics that come to mind right now, I would like to solicit you guys to come up with any ideas and let me know, and I'll go and take note right now. Just to get the ball rolling on you guys thinking, we are earlier that month, we're considering being a part of SPEAR's conference. SPEAR has a conference in early September, and they are focusing in on resiliency, being the hot topic that can be in Texas right now. So we were talking about maybe doing a session within SPEAR about guaranteed inter-savings performance contracting affecting resiliency. So resiliency is a topic that was noted before, something we may want to bring to the table.
Yeah, that's a good one, Matt. Another one I think that we've kind of all talked about a bit was the emergence of the as a service model in this industry.
Yeah. Energy as a service, sure. I think we've also discussed, it wouldn't be a bad idea to consider discussing stimulus and its impact on the industry. And particularly we could talk about in Texas and some of the projects people are doing now funded by stimulus.
When is that Spears conference?
Early September. I don't remember the exact dates. Let's see if I can find Spear annual conference. I'll see if I can find it, but yeah, I know it's just early September. They may not even have it posted yet. I just talked to Sean, who's part of Spear, and then I can't remember it. But I talked to some of the Spear representatives about it last week, and something the outreach committee will be looking towards of seeing if we can support it, maybe sponsor it, and be a part of it as a chapter.
It looks like the 2nd and 3rd of September in Sandtown.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Great. Okay. Any other topics come to mind, guys, that you think would be worthwhile for us to start considering? We do have, again, a committee trying to work on these topics, but anything you guys think of, actually, I'll just leave it there. If there's something you think of, feel free to email me. My email is in all this, but matt.lombardo@sesameco.com. Feel free to email me some topics and we can explore them as we try to narrow down topics and then hopefully speakers for those topics that we can present. Hopefully some people from the chapter, our chapter, will be willing to be a part of that. Other than that, what else would be a talking point for the conference, Zach?
Yeah, I'm just looking through the agenda. I think you covered just about everything.
Man,
The standing question was, of course, the restriction on registrations and what the Driskill was going to do about that. So that was the big one in my mind.
Yep. With it opening up, that really allows us to have a better conference in general. It was getting to the point where we would only have 16 people from Texas. That meaning our chapter could be part of this, which is a little too ridiculous in my opinion. Well, it would have been tough. So, yep, that's the conference coming up, and we're planning around it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Feel free to reach out to Calley Pace. We're leading that effort, or helping lead that effort.
Fantastic.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks for all your hard work there. You and Calley are doing just a wonderful job. That's a big deal for us, hosting the national conference. So well done.
Thank you.
Well, let's move into other committees then. That was the conference committee, the kind of ad hoc conference committee that we formed. Anyone from outreach committee here? I don't think so. Oh, Dub. We'll grab him since he's joining. Hey, Dub, how are you doing? Hey, Dub, you there?
I'm here, yes.
Hey, welcome. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Wonderful. We were just moving on to other committee reports, outreach, education, and membership. Do you want to start off?
Sure. I guess where we left it the last time with the new executive committee coming in, we talked about, is the format that had been used over the last year, sort of the internally facing education, kind of best practices, keeping up with state-of-the-art technology and services and so forth. Is that the right thing going forward? I don't know if folks have had thoughts on that. Happy to continue that. I think one of the concerns I had about that the last time is we tended to have the participation in those education webinars drop off as we sort of move forward. There were, I would say there's pretty decent participation, maybe 15 or 20 people on the earlier ones, the later ones, not so much. And I believe we did record them, but that's just, it's kind of a matter of folks getting it on the calendar and having enough bandwidth to do that. And also if they knew that they were going to be recorded and they could watch them later, then they may not make it a priority to attend in person. But for the folks that were spending the time putting the presentations together and the training together, and to only have 3 or 4 people show up, I don't think that's fair to them. So that's kind of just a kind of a download of where we were. But I think there's value in doing that. Maybe not on a monthly basis, but maybe as we prospect what some relevant topics are that could be covered, again, with that sort of internally facing approach, then scheduling a webinar around them. I think we kind of got into this mode of, oh, it's June, we need to find a webinar and a speaker, and kind of having a meeting because it was on the calendar versus having a meeting because there needed to be one. But I kind of leave it there and open for discussion and see how how you guys want to proceed. We can do it any way you like, or if there's a different idea completely, we can certainly talk about that.
Okay, thanks, Doug, for the overview. But before we move into open discussion on that, do you have a recommendation at this point, or are you still kind of formulating that?
Well, I don't think that what we were doing before was necessarily broken. The attendance began to concern me, but again, if we don't hold ourselves to let's have a deal every month, maybe, I don't know if there's a natural schedule every other month, we could try that, figure out if there's enough meaningful, timely content that could be covered every other month, and we've got members of the Texas chapter that are willing to present. Maybe we start with that and then kind of observe and tailor it as we go forward.
Certainly.
But I know that I was obviously on all of them, and having sort of been in this industry and on the periphery of this industry for 20 plus years, there were eye-opening aha, sort of had no idea that existed, things that got communicated. And I'm sure that would be the case with other folks within the organization. So I think there's value in keeping everyone up to date with kind of state-of-the-art technology and approaches.
Yeah, thank you, Doug. And I agree fully. I mean, that committee is an important one and serves a really central function to what we're trying to do here. So I would agree with you on all points there. So membership, then I'll open forum. Any discussion about any of the pieces there that Doug brought up, particularly around the frequency of these presentations? And I guess let's start there. Any thoughts?
Dale, were we doing these presentations, were they like once a month, once a quarter?
We were doing them once a month,
Good,
and I think we had picked a date. I think it was like maybe it's like the second Tuesday, or it was a regular recurring monthly date, so folks could just hold that on their calendar, and then we would figure out a speaker and a topic as we got closer to the date. And I think that may have been too frequent. So maybe, if we going forward, if we were to, do every other month, and figure out, what topics needed to be covered, that would give us a little more time to figure out what those were. Plus it would give the presenters, longer runway to prepare any information that they're going to present. Or in the case, I know we had, for example, Lisa Thames with Bank of America, was one of the presenters, and just being a part of a very large organization, she had a big approval process to go through, and there wasn't enough time. So she spoke, but wasn't able to provide any slides because of their time requirements for approval. So I think if we did it every other month, that would give people adequate time to not only prepare the material, but go through whatever internal approvals it may have.
Yeah, I agree.
Other questions or comments?
I would just add, Joe, I thought your education sessions were really helpful. There's a lot of things I feel like I learned about the industry from them and the people who support our industry. So I do appreciate that effort, and I think it would be helpful to continue if we find the right cadence.
Thanks, Matt. Other comments? So I'll just speak for myself, and I think again to reiterate, Doug, that your committee there is crucial to what we're doing and crucial to our mission. And I appreciate all the hard work that you guys have put into it. I think it's valuable going forward. And so I think I would lean towards following your recommendation that we move it to once every other month for all the reasons that you outlined. And plus, just to keep it maybe a little fresher for everyone and give everyone an opportunity to get involved again. So that would be my vote. Any thoughts on that?
No, I agree with it.
Okay. Well, Doug, I guess, can we turn that back to you then and have you do as you see fit with kind of all that we've discussed here?
Yeah, so I'm thinking kind of next steps, a few things. One, figure out if there's sort of a logical date, calendar time or date that we could plug in every other month. We did late morning, I think it was 11 a.m. I know that works for some people. It probably pushes up against lunch for others if you have lunch meetings. So maybe we find a different time, could be late morning 10 or something, or 2 in the afternoon. But I'll look at that. Then and then I'll need to, Cassidy at one point, I think I sent, I may even have it right here. Okay, I have the Texas ESC chapter Zoom credentials, and I can set up recurring webinar spots from that calendar so that, we'll at least have those slots reserved and can use the Texas chapter Zoom webinar tool for those. And then I'll solicit comments from the membership. I don't know if I have the full membership list. Maybe Roderick, you could help with that, or I'll come up with an email, and if you could push that out to the membership about soliciting topics if you'd like to present, and with my contact information to coordinate, then we can kind of start getting these things on the calendar.
Sure, no problem.
Okay.
Awesome. Doug, thanks again. Thanks very much for all your great work here. Please let us know if there's any help that you need. Okay.
Okay, will do.
All right. Okay, let's move to the membership committee. Anyone here from the membership committee?
I think we have Cliff, Zach.
Is Cliff here? No. Okay. Matt, you said we did not have Cliff, right?
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm looking at the attendees.
I don't see him either, unless he's one of these hidden ones. Okay.
And I dropped off on the outreach. I apologize. Did you see, as soon as you asked for somebody in the outreach, I accidentally canceled out. Probably because I was scared of what I was going to say. But the outreach committee, real quick, we are looking for members. So if anybody wants to be a part of the outreach committee, please let me know. We are definitely interested in people who want to help us with the outreach. As kind of Zach alluded to, education is important, and part of that education is bringing it out to the public, bringing it out to the market, and helping them learn more about the value of this, delivery model that we're supporting. And so anybody who wants to support that effort, what that looks like, the outreach committee in the past has attended conferences, helped plan around us attending conferences, has brought together speakers for events, kind of like you just saw. If you were at the webinar, you saw Vince and Farshad speaking. That would be something an outreach committee would help put together, getting speakers lined up who are willing to talk, of course, agnostically, not about your company, but about the guaranteed energy savings performance contracting process. There is a standard ESPC or a template provided by the ESC that we've kind of edited a little bit that you would use to speak around. I've been a speaker before. Vince Zubacek has been a speaker. I believe Devin at one point was a speaker, if I'm incorrect, and Cassidy as well. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know. Being a speaker, that's something as well you could be plugged into the outreach committee to be a part of too. But we are looking to hopefully get that committee rolling and moving, doing stuff other than just the national conference stuff. Also looking at things like the Spear events and other events that are actually starting to come back alive. If you guys haven't noticed, a lot of them are back in person, not the virtual chaos that we've had in the past. So with those events being alive, a lot of opportunities for us to get the message out there.
Great. Thank you so much, Matt. Appreciate it. Okay, so let's move on to number 7, new business. I think A has been, yeah, we don't need to address that one now. Rod, would you mind moving down on your agenda here? Thank you. Okay, so item B then has to do with communication to ESC members. I guess, Rod, a quick update. How has that been going? Have you had any issues, or has that been going smoothly?
It's been going pretty smooth. Just trying to get an updated list. I try to keep that updated each week to make sure I have everyone. I get some bounce back, but for the most part, have a pretty updated list of everyone. Pretty much take a note. Anything that anyone needs to go out to all members, please just shoot me an email and let me know. So I include that in my communication to all members so that I can make sure to get that out to everyone. Just make sure that you get that to me as soon as possible. That's all I really have.
All right. Thanks, Rod. Moving into old business then, the discussion of a development of a Texas ESC chapter program plan and priority actions. I think if it's all right with everyone, this would be something I think we want Fred involved in. So I move that we push this to our next meeting. Everybody okay with that?
Sounds good.
Agreed.
I'm good.
I'm good.
Yep. Okay. And that brings us to the end, a summary of meeting and the upcoming adjournment. So Rod, are you sitting in for Cliff?
Sure.
Okay. Any action items that are outstanding or that we need to take from this meeting?
No real action items outstanding. What I'll do is on the training that we had prior to this, I'll make sure to send that out. This meeting is being recorded and will be posted on the YouTube, which I'll also send that out in communication to the membership as well.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Rod, for doing that. All right. Well, we have we are done fairly early, as you can see. I don't know if I doubt anybody's going to have a real issue with that, but since we have a few more minutes, is there anything that any business at large at all would like to bring up? Okay. Hearing none, then I propose that we adjourn. Thank you all for your attendance today. Look forward to speaking with you and all the committees soon, and we'll see you at the next meeting.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Zach.
Thank you.
Have a great
Hey,
day.
everybody.
Bye.
Yes, sir.
Good meeting, Zach.